Coming up on today's show, in celebration of Mother's Day, we break down the modern horror classic, Hereditary.
Light the candle, then choose an item that belonged to Grandma. Then read this out loud.
Stay tuned. Welcome to Scary World, where we walk you through the latest and greatest in the world of horror. I am your host, Arturo Padilla.
Hi.
If you're just joining us, don't forget to subscribe up above and say what's up down below. Remember, folks, we have one major rule around here: no spoilers. Now that we got that out of the way, there are 5 categories: production, story, ensemble, horror, and legacy. Each category can score up to 2 points.
Showtime.
Per IMDb, the synopsis goes: a grieving family is haunted by tragic and disturbing occurrences. This movie was directed by Ari Aster. This was his featured directorial debut, and he successfully made a classic piece of horror art.
Together there. At the end.
He does an outstanding job with this entire production. The movie is beautifully shot with every single frame composed to perfection. The sound editing as well was crucial in this production. It was paramount in elevating the horror in this film. The editing in this movie was also well done. Everything was pieced together well, and we got a nice linear story that we can follow straight to the end without any issues. This whole production was executed at an elite level. Everything just clicks here, from the camera techniques to the sound to the editing. Everything was just done very well on this production. And for the amazing production we get on this movie, the beautiful shots, the beautiful visuals, the great camera work, the great sound work, the great editing on this movie, everything was just done really, really well and pretty perfect. This movie gets a whole score of 2 for this category. Everything looks good, everything sounds good, everything is pieced together well. This was a complete success. The movie was also written by Ari Aster, and this again is his first feature script and story. Aster again showcases his true horror mettle with this excellent narrative. All 3 acts are perfectly structured, hitting every single beat along the way. He successfully builds suspense and tension all throughout the movie, using every single minute to mount the horror.
You know you were her favorite.
Who's gonna take care of me when you die?
The deconstruction of this family unit was a sight to see, a truly unnerving experience. And Ari Aster creates this really amazing story here from start to finish. It's really captivating. It's entertaining, if you can call it that.
I think my mother put a curse on us.
Mom, I need to call the police.
The police can't help us.
To really see what this family is going through in this time of grief and see how the tragedies keep compounding and how they keep reacting, and just the downfall and the downward spiral of this mother and this father and this son and this entire familial unit. It is quite a sight to behold, and it is well told throughout this entire narrative. And for the great captivating story that we get, the very original ideas that we get in this movie, it gets the full score of a 2 in the category of story. I can't say this enough. This was an awesome story. The performances of the entire cast were outstanding and really aided in telling this wild story. Every character was well developed and effective. They all had great chemistry and dynamics with each other. This was a true ensemble piece. Everyone played their part perfectly. All that said though, Toni Collette shines brighter than the light of Paimon in this movie. She steals every scene she is in. She is absolutely fantastic and worth the price of admission alone.
Don't you swear at me, you little shit! Don't you ever raise your voice at me! I am your mother! Do you understand?
It is a really big darn shame that she was not nominated for anything. Specifically, like an Oscar nomination, hello. The performance in this movie is absolutely out of this world and one of a kind. Toni Collette deserves all the flowers for this role and this performance. It was absolutely memorable and amazing. And every time I watch this movie, her performance just shines even brighter and brighter, and it's even more memorable the next time and the next time and the next time. It's just so good that it stands the test of time completely. And for the awesome characters we get and the great dynamics that we get, the awesome dialogue and scenes we get with Toni Collette and her family, with Gabriel Byrne and Nat Wolff, that scene at the table alone, folks, is an absolutely great piece of filmmaking. And that deserves full marks, along with the rest of this movie, of a 2 for ensemble. This thing is just so good. The back and forth monologues that these characters have, and that scene during dinner where they go back and forth, absolutely riveting stuff, folks. And it is why this movie is as good as it is. The horror in this movie is superb. The blood and the gore is extremely impactful and, most importantly, practical. It looks really good on the screen. On the big screen, on the small screen, on the IMAX, it looked good on screen. The brutal moments really pop, and all of them catch you off guard. The horror is effective and it's haunting. It really starts in the first act, and it just builds gradually all throughout the acts to the very awesome climax of this movie. There is horror sprinkled everywhere, man. This thing is fantastic. It is full of just evil witch stuff, evil cult stuff. We get Paimon or Paimon, whatever you want to call him, but we get him and the lore of that. It's just a compounding dread throughout the entire movie that just culminates at the end and just releases. It is absolutely awesome to witness it from the very beginning. And for the amazing suspense and the tension that we get through acts 1, 2, and 3, this movie deserves an absolute full score of 2 for horror. Not just all the cool and awesome blood stuff that we get in the latter part of the movie, but just that sense of dread that keeps building and keeps growing in this movie. This movie is a horror masterpiece. The story is awesome and the cast really helps elevate every single scene. This movie sticks to your soul and it never leaves. I've seen this movie at least once a year since its release, and every single time I watch it, it gets better and better. As I mentioned before in the ensemble segments, the performances get better and better. Toni Collette's performance in this movie is absolutely iconic, and I wish she would have at least been nominated for an Oscar, if not won the Oscar, because of that performance. It's so good, it's so memorable, and it drives this movie. She anchors this thing all throughout, and she gets plenty of help from Gabriel Byrne and from Nat Wolff, and it's just an exquisite overall package, folks. For the memorable story and the memorable cast and the haunting vibes we get throughout the entire movie, and the rewatchability of this kind of movie, it gets the full score of a 2 for legacy. And it's tough to be able to make a rewatchable horror film that isn't just a straight up slasher or a straight up horror action flick like Van Helsing. To make a movie like this and have it be rewatchable is definitely no small feat. And Ari Aster and his team accomplished that in this production. To tally it up, Hereditary received a 2 for production, 2 for story, 2 for ensemble, 2 for horror, and a 2 for legacy, rounding out the score to a total of 10. I absolutely love this movie. As I mentioned before, it's super rewatchable. The story gets better and better. The performances get better and better. This thing will live forever. It is one of the greatest horror movies ever made, and if you have not watched Hereditary, now is the time to watch it. It is a perfect viewing for Mother's Day, and it is available to stream now on Max. Go watch Hereditary, and happy Mother's Day.
Can you tell me what time it is?
And that's a wrap, folks. Thank you for watching Scary World. Don't forget to drop a comment down below and hit the thumbs up on the video. Most importantly, do not forget to subscribe to the YouTube channel. Tell all your friends, your family, and their pets to come on down to YouTube. Subscribe to CorpseFeed. We have spoiler-free horror movie reviews for you guys dropping every Monday, Wednesday, and Friday. We also have the official CorpseFeed podcast dropping every Tuesday wherever you get your podcast streams. We are also on all the social platforms. Go subscribe, like, and share because we are there, folks. We will see you on Monday for another episode. And remember, it's a scary world out there, but we are here to walk you through it.